according to a cleric, before a child takes his first step, before it speaks his first word, something unseen, something forgotten is already shaping his destiny. A claim now stirring strong reactions. And according to the story, they said the pastor said the way a child's placenta is handled can determine the child's future. According to him, burying it, giving it to animals, or hanging it on a tree could bring negative outcomes. But setting it ablaze with prayers and anointing oil is the right way. While some believers see this as deep spiritual wisdom passed down through faith, others are raising serious concerns, questioning the lack of medical backing and warning against practices that may fuel fear, myths, and misinformation around childbirth. So ladies, do you agree with this pastor or do you disagree? Where do you draw the line between faith and facts? And we want our viewers to join the conversation and call us on 02016352013 or 09024163440 or tweet us at TVC Connect using the hashtag YourViewTVC. So if you have gone to bury the placenta of your child, what did you do with the placenta of your children?
Not on national television.
You don't know how
African tradition, we buried it.
Oh, you buried?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you said not on national television.
No, we can share our story now.
What did you
okay,
do?
like it's not something that...
you know
some my they cook down
say
chop.
some they say they eat.
And that one
I don't know what happened with my kids when I know my mom
You didn't ask.
Oh, your own mom took
my
over.
mom took the placenta, and I just felt since it's my mom, I don't need to worry my head about it. I didn't, but I have a feeling that culturally it is buried. You see, as someone that grew up in a CNS church, so
okay. Tell us.
I'm in it, from a white garment church. We were the anointing oil, fetch well water, go and wash your head at the sea. You know, use handkerchief, burn 7 candles over 7 days. You know, use your incense around the entire house, anoint the door.
Cleansing.
Like there are many doctrines that I grew up seeing being done.
Rituals.
And when I read the Bible, for myself, in my personal relationship with God, I realized that they were doctrinal activities. They were actual activities that were maybe personal instruction for different people per time, and they were now turned into
general
religion. It was not like a duty, something that you must do. But it wasn't. It's not like it's based on the Bible. It's a personal revelation. There are scriptural references where Jesus spat on mud and put it on. It didn't become a template for every miracle that if you want to open eye, you go and look for mud, spit into the mud and rub on the eye. So, you know, there's some things that are personal. Maybe for a child, an instruction, you had it in your spirit, or something happened to you and you felt burn this instead of, and that's because, the where the message came to you or the revelation came to you was because of the child's destiny, that it shouldn't be buried, it should be burnt. Okay. It doesn't become the template for everybody. It doesn't mean whatever that person is doing is wrong. Besides, we are, as Christians, we are on the new covenant. There is nothing anybody can do anywhere. We are under grace. So I'm very wary of pastors that turn one specific situation into a rule and a doctrine and just make it look like every other person is not doing anything right. This is the only way. Any other thing you're doing is wrong. So I feel like, gosh, I don't like to be on this space because it waters down the power that this spiritual journey of Christianity should have when we turn to things like this. Let's focus on meat, not milk.
Okay. So for me, I don't know what happened. I gave birth to my children in the hospital, and I'm sure the hospital handled it how it has always handled it. But after I had my babies, it now became quite popular for you to hear about people getting their placenta, cooking their placenta, eating it, encapsulating it, you know, donating it for all sorts of things. And I was like, if only I knew, I would have really loved to have done one of those. I would not cook it and eat it though. I don't think so. But because they talk about many benefits, can I read a few of the benefits I've heard? So they say for medical donations, placentas can be donated to tissue banks to assist with wound care and burn treatments, eye surgeries, reconstructive surgeries, and then as placenta encapsulation, the placenta is dehydrated, ground into powder, then put into capsules, and they say that it helps reduce the risk of postpartum depression and, you know, replenish iron levels and boost energy, increase milk supply. Then there's stem cell harvesting, placenta blood and tissue can be banked for the stem cells they contain, which can be used in regenerative medicine. You know, so many other things. And I thought, I would have really loved to have contribute, even not for myself, but contributed. Because I'm covered, as you said, we were born under the covering already. If I look at my own generation, like back to back, my great-grandmother was already a Christian. So for me, I come from generations of people who have given their lives to Christ. They live under the anointing. So I really don't have any ancestral spirits that I'm dealing with. My great-grandmother and her, they have dealt with that. So this is where I am today. That's it.
For you.
I'm covered by the blood of Jesus.
Are you trying to call names now?
The fire of the Holy Ghost consumes me.
We that we have ancestral things.
I wanted to be careful on this matter because I'm looking at the pastor and thinking, you want to burn the placenta? Are you African? Because we all know the placenta is called Ikejiomo, Ibi. It is called the second of, it's your ancestral tie. It's like something, you know, we give it a lot of myth. And I read all of that. So when I had my babies, they will keep my placenta till my in-laws come at their property. Wherever your family, whatever they do, they take the placenta of my babies. And unfortunately, unlike Miro, my babies were in a government hospital here in Nigeria.
So they'll give it to you?
We give it. Hospital, they give it to us.
I sat with my sister during an evacuation. I held the placenta till her husband came. Based on normal belief. But as a Muslim, we have no beliefs whatsoever in how it is disposed. It's just supposed to be just as a body part, like any cancerous tissue removed
that comes out,
that you take care of.
Like waste.
It's either you give it to the hospital, you bury it, dispose of it. That's what it said neatly. There's no tie whatsoever with it and your kadar. Kadar is entirely, that's your destiny.
Yeah, kadar.
Is entirely designed by God. And only a prayer-worthy Muslim can desire a certain destiny and ask of it through prayer and can be changed. Nothing, no ties. But as an African, it has never crossed this, with all that we have said along our religions, it never crossed my mind to think that an African would find it worthy to burn placenta. They lay them to rest, not part of the
bury.
You know, medically, whatever sciences has taught us, they lay it. You burn they cook and shop, but we lay it back to earth, and so I'm shocked.
The burning is now an option.
You go burn them. So what happens? You know, the other day myself and Wike were having a conversation about what's it called? This method of cremation.
Cremation,
She shocked me because Wike, as a traditional African, believes in cremation. And I say, well, it's like at this point, our friendship,
you're questioning
to question it because I cannot imagine my loved one dead being cremated. It doesn't sit well with me. But every day we hear new things. But I'm wondering, since it doesn't have biblical foundation, as you have all confirmed, what was working in pastor's head when he thought we should be burning our placenta? Even those midwives in just when you are going to sign, your husband should come and sign. Family relative, somebody will be on standby to receive placenta in Nigerian hospitals. I've not seen
anybody that I've seen. Where did they keep my children? Because I don't know.
Did
you sign anything?
No, I didn't remember that.
Mine.
And now all of a sudden I'm feeling like I already did a mistake.
My late father, God bless him, God rest his soul, received my baby's placentas. As soon as he comes, they will put it in a package. As soon as he comes in the morning, it is respect to deal with, just as it's also is respect to name and arrange certain things. And my own is to carry my piking. Carry my piking and I move on.
At the end of the day, as a woman, you just gave birth. Are you going to be thinking, like, you just finished pushing or doing CS?
I don't want to look for that placenta.
Will you be thinking of, okay, where's my baby's placenta? Like, you can't, so it's usually your the person that is staying with you, maybe your husband. In my own case, was my mom that handled it. And even my mom said, I have a very faint recollection, but I know she gave it to my dad, and I have a strong feeling that it was buried, and that was what they did because that's our culture. But for me, I would like, when we come back, I'll talk about the fear. Pastors that preach on fear, I feel that it makes you feel important when every other person is scared to even access God, and we all have access.
Still discussing about this placenta issue, where a pastor was advising that it's best to burn the placenta instead of burn it with anointing oil. and pray over it instead of burying it, that this is like the best thing to do about the placenta. And we try to share some of our experiences. I personally don't remember seeing any form of placenta anywhere. I did not ask I didn't have the I didn't even have the mindset to know whether I should ask for that. But I know that anytime I'm birthing, my mother-in-law and my husband are usually there, so I would assume that she handled all of that, because I didn't have that conversation. It was after we started hearing some of the benefits, studying and seeing some of the amazing benefits you can get with the placenta, that I was now thinking, I should have asked for this thing. Maybe I would have been using it for this, my anti-aging things now that I'm doing up and down.
For me as well, placenta never came up in the conversations, antenatal, whatever, all those things. It never came up. Even with my mom being a nurse, I don't remember us having that conversation. And even if I had someone with me, my mom was there for my first delivery, my husband second. Even if there was someone who handled it, it would be important conversation to have, because I have children, and if I'm there for them, how would I be there for them if I don't know what the tradition is or what is meant to do? So I really like that we're having this conversation, but not on the fear factor, on the benefits and, what we would like to do as a family. I would really like for my daughter to make a conscious decision of donating to help people who have issues. And I feel that is where we should go with conversations like this. Instead of instilling fear in people, like, how can we help humanity? What is it that God has blessed us with as a gift that can help someone else? I think that's how I want to think about this placenta, other than
just the
fear of your star dying.
So
let me take Fumi and I'll come to you. Have a caller from Ogun State. Fumi, are you there?
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. We can't hear you. We need volume in the studio.
Okay. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Fumi.
The issue of placenta. Ever since it was laid down to us that when you birth, your husband will go and bury the placenta. In fact, Ruba said that that is, immediately you give birth, you are supposed to bury the placenta. That is what we were made to believe. Okay. But this new issue of the pastor, I don't really know. Because I don't really understand what is going on. But what's the history? In Yoruba land, that is our own tradition. Yeah. And we are not so careless. We are not expected to be careless with the placenta. Because of the myth around the placenta. African myth and all those things. There have been issues of people that are careless with the placenta of the children, leading to some problems. So as a result of that, either your mother, your husband, or anybody that stays with you when you give birth, will guide the placenta jealously. They will guide it jealously and make sure they bury it.
Please, what are some of these myths? I don't know if you could share with us.
Okay.
One of the myths is that they can use it for money ritual or anything.
Yes.
Okay.
That is, they can use it for money ritual,
for evil eye,
or use it for any evil act.
Okay.
So that is why our mother and our husband, they guide it jealously. So they make sure they bury it. So the issue of this pastor, I don't really understand what is going on.
Thank you so much, Fumi. I have some cultures around the world here. We have New Zealand, we have the Caribbeans, we have the Yoruba land, we have the Igbo land, and all the things I'm saying here is that they usually bury the placenta. That's the right thing to do, so that it's like a sacred link between the child and their homeland.
There's also
that's
another
like the
myth,
ongoing
African
tradition.
So if they give birth to you
years,
abroad,
there's also
your garden in the house, at least.
No, if they give birth to you.
If you're living in
a block of flats,
live block of flats.
What I'm saying. People that travel to have babies and then bring them back. If it's supposed to be the
connection to earth.
Connection to your
basically
land. Yes. If you're not in your land,
whether you like it or not, to take you back to
where you have gone.
No,
think about it, because there must be a thought that
connection to mother
our ancestors, like how they thought about it.
Yes.
No. You know that the placenta nurtured the baby.
Yes.
Obviously, we all know. So there's the way
a connect.
The culture sees it is that if I hold the placenta, I've held on to the child. So if you don't protect the placenta, evil powers can use the placenta to take over the child's life and sort of like rob the child of the child's destiny and steal the child's future.
So that is the pastor saying the right thing.
That's culture. So when you bring culture
and Christianity and mix it,
that for me is polluting the message.
But he brought culture, he now added fear. Our culture brought it, there's also honor. I know of the traditional belief of using the placenta for infertile women
I've heard
to birth children, because I said it happened to my niece, she's bullying, nothing to me.
How does that
work? My younger cousin, she's not my niece. She's bullying. So I explained the story now how my auntie took the placenta of our wife, and you know, when the woman eye clear, she kept asking where was the baby's placenta. Nobody wanted to answer, and then fast forward 3 months into the birth of the child, it came out that she gave her friend who's been married for 20 years and didn't have a child. And so the wife was worried, and my father just prayed and said, this is not Islam, let it go. And the girl till today, whatever, I think maybe it was made into a
did the person have a child? I just want to hear.
No, I never found out. My auntie's late now. But that is aside. Then,
let me hold you. I'll come back to you, Nima. We have Suleiman from Abuja. Suleiman, are you there?
I'm here.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You're live.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I really want to understand. We were told that we might be burying destiny. We burying the placenta. It will be that we are burying a destiny. So where did they expect us? Where did they want us to do with the placenta?
They say she burn it with anointing oil.
They say she burn it now.
We should burn it with the anointing oil. Is that the way?
That's what he suggested. Yeah.
Is it hygienic?
That's a good question.
Is it ideal? Is it ideal, or is it spiritual? Does it have any spiritual implication?
He said that the destiny of the child will be preserved.
When you burn it. When you burn the destiny.
The destiny of the child will be preserved.
That's according to
the pastor. If you don't burn it, some children's destinies would get warped before they are even able to walk. Plenty questions.
Thank you, Suleiman.
So I remember when I had my first child, my mom had lectured me on all tradition. In my tradition, according to my mom, she is the in-law. And when my child is there, she doesn't want to be the first. She's not supposed to be the first to take the child. So my mom, even when she's with you in the hospital, when your child comes and the matron brings the baby, she'll say, wait, let the father's people come. You know, particularly my mother-in-law. And so we waited till morning because I had my daughter at 9:30 something in the night. And
your mommy did not hold the baby?
She just prayed over the baby and waited.
Wow.
So the placenta as well. And then the umbilical cord is also processed into dry cloth to help with the nurturing of the cord to healing. And so they'll put it on a lantern, they process it, they put all these spices that we use for cooking. That was what was added. All these ones we use for pepper soup, those pepper soup spices.
All those things.
And then they'll put it every day. She bought a lantern, I don't know where she generated one from. Suddenly then it was every morning put it. And once the baby has had a bath, we'll put it on till the baby healed at our umbilical cord. And that particular part she also said, was not to be disposed. But Nima forgot. I threw it one place.
Clip and the
I'm telling you,
when it falls off.
No, this one after the clip, after it's falling off the clip, they'll add it to a cloth, usually a white handkerchief or material, and you burn it every morning on the lantern and heal the baby's umbilical, the navel area. And so we're treating it like that. And I was instructed, when he's done, the baby is healed, give it to your in-laws to add to wherever the placenta went.
Okay.
Now so Nima lost some.
So let me take a call and I'll come to you. We have Ade Jai from Songo. Are you there?
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Hello?
We can hear you loud and clear, sir.
Yeah. Good morning. Yes. I just want to be part of this discussion.
Go ahead.
You see, this placenta is is a vital thing in a human being's life.
Okay.
In Yoruba land, they call it Ibiomo. It is second, the one that comes after any birth of any child. is so important in anybody's life. In the olden days, they always bury the placenta, especially those people that have family house or you have your house.
Okay.
And it's so important that when they bury it, either the parents or the grandparents, they know exactly where it is buried.
Okay.
If they want to even pray for their child, they go to where they bury the placenta and pray, or want to do otherwise. And that is why anybody that travels, if that person doesn't want to come back, they go to where they bury the placenta
and call the person back.
Oh, shit. So a lot of things happen. People are just joking with it.
I told you.
It's so important in the Yoruba land that placenta is something you cannot even joke with. It's something you have to keep very well. If you are unfortunate, the placenta gets to your enemy's hands. Hey, that child, believe me, they can be causing that placenta every day. They can do everything. They do ritual with a lot of things. And that is why I'm afraid with people that left the placenta of their children in the hands of the hospital, because people go there to buy it. So in fact, we have to be very, very careful.
And then let me ask you, do you think it's better to burn it now, from what this pastor has said?
Believe me, if you don't have your own home, or where you can, because you can live anywhere that you bury it if it's not your house.
Okay.
So it's better to be born, because look at India now, they bury their dead people.
They cremate.
I think when you bury, nobody can do anything against it.
When you burn.
Yes.
If you can burn now.
Yes. Okay. No. So people are looking at the Bible. I'm a Christian.
Okay.
Good Christian. I went to Bible school. Look. So there are some things that is traditional. And even Jesus said, what is traditional? What you need to do in your area, do it. So the thing is that we are just mixing things, things together in this world. Do the right thing, because the world is evil. Keep the future of your children.
So I wanted to before, I was saying earlier, I was trying to. For those, we've always had this thing where Nigerians travel abroad to have their children. And then you come back, your placenta, the child's placenta is there. Is that not the spiritual reason why people are jackwaring up and down? Exactly. So you're going back, it's calling them back. But, I'm saying, for me, I don't understand the burning. But obviously, after our last caller, maybe to protect it from evil hands, because I'm saying this is something that has nurtured your child, yourself and your child, kept you alive, kept the child alive while he was there. I think it's important that it is treated with some decency. And so for me, I think it's best if we can get some people from the hospital to call us and tell us what Nigerian hospitals do with the placenta. Do they donate it for medicine, science, for or do they bury it, or do they would they just trash it and put it in the bin like that?
Medical waste. Medical waste.
See, I am of the opinion.
It will be organic waste, and I know that with organic waste, if it's the hospital, they'll treat it like all the other organic waste that
Which hospitals do organic waste now? Is it? Are you using
always had? There's always waste now that comes from the hospital. And if it's organic, it's something that they either bury, or even if the waste removal people come to take it off, it will be sent off to the waste disposal place where it will decay naturally anyway. So it's gone. It's fine as long as it's not that the hospitals are carrying it to a Babalao's house who is praying over it. That's my point.
You see what the last caller said is something that has been repeated, and I think sometimes that's why you see watching all this Nollywood Yoruba movies, they sell you these stories. Because have I ever seen anybody that is selling the placenta? No. But I've watched movies where they say it over and over again that if you don't collect your placenta from the hospital, they will sell it to other people. They use it for money rituals. They use it to have children, rituals to have children.
For those that
the sad thing is that if they use my children's own, it's poverty that will chase them. Because we are covered by the blood of Jesus.
So there are so many things they say they use it for, all speculations based in fear. And to hear a Christian say, I went to Bible school, and yet you are saying something that promotes fear is that you are so believed in your culture that you don't realize that you are in a new covenant, which for me is why I disagree with the pastor, because you cannot and should not be promoting fear. We people cannot live in fear of the fact that, so they will not do deliverance. Watch me. They will call a deliverance for all of those that do not know where their placenta is.
No, I'm trying to get what you are saying now.
You will not come to church to pray that whatever evil was done with your placenta, you are dissolving those evil. Okay, everything is just around ministry of fear, because ministry of fear is a profitable ministry. Because you will always come back to meet the person. I had a dream. I saw my placenta being held. They will pray for you and then you drop off free. So there's the ministry of fear is a ministry that we as Christians.
No, it's not an issue of fear here.
It's issue of fear. He said that if you're not careful of your placenta, what is happening to the placenta, the child's destiny is already destroyed before the child is even walking. So it is a message to people to be scared of what has happened to your placenta. And I don't know that.
Or it is another, see, until this happened, I did not really care for placenta. The only reason I started caring for what will happen to the placenta is because of the scientific innovations that we have now. But if we as a people, Africans or Nigerians, we have certain beliefs of what our placenta can do or cannot do, I don't think it's necessarily about fear.
What he said.
Yes, but also it's another way for us to pay attention. You know, this is actually part of our bodies. You know, we should pay attention to what we can do with it or what it can do for us, instead of making it just like we throw it away. And I don't like yes, Christianity is important, but we also come from a place. And sometimes I feel that when we don't pay attention or we don't know our history concerning why some things are done, we throw it away and then lose the benefits that could have come to us. So yes, so sorry, I know you have to go. So what will happen is, because we don't know the history of or the impact, what happens is that someone can sell us fear. But if we know the history, we know the impact, we know the benefits, then someone cannot use religion to sell us fear, because we know that it is not about our destiny if we do properly bury it or properly dispose of it.
We'll take a short break here. When I come back, I have a question for Tokwe, because I really want to understand how, because we are Christians now, we will not allow ourselves to be careless because we believe that the blood of Jesus covers us. Many of them believed in burying because there's this ancestral link, sacred link, you know, to the child destiny and all of that. And I wanted to ask a question. You know, we had a caller who talked about if you were probably abroad or something, because you don't have or you're not in your own house, maybe you're a tenant, it's not your home. So it's advisable that you can burn so that nothing can touch it. But if you're in your home, your homeland, you can now bury, because that's where your home is. And you know, Tokwe had talked about fear, and I know from the pastor's first statement on the placenta issue, the first thing you hear is fear of what your the enemy can do, yes, even though you have Jesus. And I wanted us to understand certain things. The culture we have today, the Christianity or the Islam, you know, the religion we have today, the people who formed it infused their culture into that. Yes, if you read the history of how religion started.
Allegedly, according to you.
Yeah, if you read the history of how religion started,
know, but
yes, allegedly.
Christianity, we believe that it came straight from heaven. Yeah. So if you say it had culture, that's according.
We are playing if we believe it came straight from heaven, because it was formed by people and it infused their culture. And that's why even in those religions, you see there are different sects and different aspects of those religions that have their different doctrines. True. So because you infuse, the Roman Catholics have a different, hold on, let me finish what I'm saying. The Roman Catholic will have a different, way they do their Christianity. The Anglicans have, the Pentecostals have. Do you understand? It's an infusion of culture. So the question I wanted to ask Tokwe is, are you saying we should now be careless with how we handle our affairs because we believe that Jesus has saved us? Or there are certain things that we must still do to preserve it. It's not, you're not doing it from a place of fear, but you're doing it from a place of, like you rightly said, honor. Placenta is something that we can honor, we can give a form of respect. It did his job. He did his job. Should we just cast it away and feel nothing can happen because I am now a Christian and Jesus Christ solves everything? Or should we still have a way of doing our own things while still honoring our Jesus?
So there's a difference between religion and spirituality. And when we give examples of different sects, it is the sect's doctrine that has infused culture, and those cultural influences have brought pollution to the spiritual journey that every individual should have with God. That, for me, is the problem. So I grew up in CNS. CNS infused our culture into Christianity. Roman Catholics infused their own culture into their own form of Christianity. They are Seventh-day Adventists. They are, everybody has different. Too. But for me, it is the spiritual journey. Is personal, and it is that I'm concerned about. So when everybody does interpretation of how we culturally bury, there's nothing wrong, but we also know that there are cultures that we've seen did not serve us, cultures that stemmed out of ignorance and fear, culture that would vaginally mutilate women as a way to prevent promiscuity. And that was a culture that had, like, it was defined. People felt that this made sense, that a woman can become promiscuous, so let us do circumcision for the woman to prevent promiscuity. That is culture.
That's
culture
a different thing.
At some point in time, I'm telling you, we're talking about culture and how we must question culture. Even religious doctrines must be questioned. Even the Bible asked us to question leaders that are giving you opinions.
And I think
giving you opinions. So that is why I feel strongly that we should be careful of how we adopt culture without questioning what the culture is doing for us. So when Mariam was saying that this is a conversation starter so that we can understand the impact and decide if it aligns. But in the same Bible, we saw that, okay, you cannot eat unclean food. And then later they said everything is now lawful, but it is not expedient. So we must understand
you can
personally.
Eat everything now with gratitude.
Personally, your personal journey, and it's a spiritual one. But anybody preaching fear is not biblical, because our journey is a faith-based journey, not a fear-based journey. So if you are scared that if somebody would attack me spiritually, even after I've given my life to Christ and I have God, that means you don't believe greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. No power can come.
We have to take a call now. Engineer Peter, I disagree with you, but let's take this call.
Pastor Tope.
Engineer Peter, are you there? Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. I really enjoy your program this morning.
Thank you.
What I want to come in is, like the last person that made call that said is a pastor and this that they use Placenta to bring people from abroad or this. In the olden days, you know, every family were together. And I want us to know that during that time, even if someone give birth, even the father of that person will go and take the placenta and use it, maybe plant it and do the right thing. But now, right now, most of us are no more together. If some people travel abroad to give birth, they ask the placenta from the doctor so that they will go and plant it in their house.
And plant it.
Do you understand? No. But some people say they use placenta. People don't need this now. With religion that is turning things upside down, people don't need your placenta to before they can do evil. We are only covered by the grace of God. And the other thing right now is that if you keep money, if you keep money in a particular place and without informing people, who is going to know where you put the money? Nobody. The same thing as the placenta. If you plant placenta, it's just for it to decay and die is all. And now normally it's right. It's just because of the evil mind that we have in this our part of the country that we believe, yes, they will use it against you. And once to give birth and you are being given the placenta, the best thing is just to go and plant it somewhere. Then it will decay and die is all.
So you don't believe in burning it, Abi? We should not burn it.
It is not right to burn it because if you should leave it down. Normally the spiritual about it is that if you leave it down without burying it within some hours.
I can barely hear you now. Thank you so much, Engineer Peter.
Yeah, let me just read this comment and then you can give your opinion. So Mrs. Tijani here says, good morning, Mariam. The UK hospitals usually ask us to give consent for a placenta to be used for medical research. And that's what I was saying earlier. That's where I would like us to think as say people, even our hospitals. I would like to know, do we do medical research with our placenta? We just throw it away and waste it.
Bury it.
Bury it so that our destiny will not be stolen.
We have not gotten there. We still treat it as waste at the hospitals because the hospitals, most of them are not teaching hospitals. They are specialist hospitals from others.
You know better.
And clinics, most of us even have our babies at primary healthcare centers. And these are not
even at home.
This is not a national idea.
But they can be
so if it's not
teaching hospitals.
If it is not a national idea and you go and carry my placenta and cut research, it's like taking a body and somebody will say I donate the body or certain organs. It's still a strange idea care.
Yes, people hardly do that.
So, Mr. Edina Tijani says, please, where is the placenta of the children born in the UK buried? In the garden? We are too superstitious in this part of the world. The placenta is rich in stem cells that can be used to treat conditions like immune diseases, tissue damage, and cardiovascular diseases. So who no fear our people, no go fear God. Traditionally, it is given to the father of the child to confirm ownership of the baby. We just demonized everything. Burning in an environment is an environmental pollution.
Form of DNA.
But what I know is that we don't have ancestral homes anymore. And we are not the first to have ancestral homes. In England, all your titles are linked to your family land that you have. And so they have ancestral homes. In fact, you can put in a clause of no sale that bans your generations to come from transferring that title to any stranger because you do not want to lose your land and everything. So we're not the first. But when we had ancestral lands, placentas were buried there as part of their title, their property. It is not because of superstition to keep that love. You go, they bury your placenta. Why you say, no, they leave that place? Because you're supposed to be tied to that place. So the superstition is not necessarily negative, or the myth around it should not necessarily be believed, because you see, in every world, in Islam, for instance, we believe there's no harm possible, but there's also evil. So in every world, there's evil. People will tend to want to do for ritualists and everything. It's not everything that is evil. There are several traditions, several religious grounds that have reasons that are noble behind them, and so we should look for those ones.
So we have Festus from Abuja. I wanted to tell Nima that even in our Bible it says no causeless cause shall stand. But Festus, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We can hear you.
Yes. Yes, I am. Good morning to all you ladies.
Good morning.
You're really doing a very good job. Yes. Now, what Nima said is very close to the truth. On the personal note, I believe that superstition is what is wrong. Are there no successful people whose placentas have been buried? Are we now saying that there are no successful people on earth that their placentas have been buried? It's all superstition. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, so because I had a lot of questions for the cleric himself. What happened to his own placenta? Did they bury it?
Did they boil it?
Did they bury it or did they burn it? Does he know what happened to his placenta? And then, there was something else you said. You were talking about how we take care of the umbilical cord using all those, you call them pepper soup spices, but they're spices like, yes, they have natural antibacterial, antifungal properties. So it's also a natural way of just keeping that place clean, because with medical science, we use, what do you call it, methylated spirit, just to keep it clean. So, those are the things that I feel. So I'm using all this now to link to the question you were asking, Tope, about because we're Christians, should we now be careless? Because I see that, and I agree with you. Sometimes we say, well, Jesus has covered it, and then we live our lives so carelessly. But if we know that there's a history, we come from a place. We come from a people that have a set of beliefs. And sometimes when we question those sets of beliefs, it may not necessarily be spiritual. It may just be those stories told so that we can live our lives better. There used to be this superstition my grandmother would used to say about backing a child and fetching water from the well. And I remember when my brother was growing up, he had one tooth out. And she says, who has been backing him and fetching water from the well? I was like, what has that got to do with anything? Which well first? She was like, no, somebody is putting him on the back and fetching water. That's why his teeth is growing weirdly. My mom now explained to me that sometimes it's just their way of protecting us. Imagine if you put a child on your back and you go to fetch water from the well, the child could fall in. So traditional Africa, especially in Africa, we tell these stories so that we live our lives better. But it's also important to carry it into our Christianity. Understand it so that with our Christianity, let's not just throw things away and just live carelessly.
Even the Bible said, Jesus said, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and unto God what is God. It means that they are setting, as long as those traditions are not killing people, they are not hurting people, they are setting traditions from every tribe that we can still uphold, we can still understand, we can still infuse.
Understand it.
Yes, infuse, even infuse. We cannot throw it away. There was something we had before Christianity and Islam came. So we can still hold on to some of those things. Yes. If it doesn't and use the one that serves us and drop the one that doesn't serve us. We have another caller and I'll come to you. Good morning, are you there?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Abiodun Morakinyo, calling from Ibadan.
You're welcome.
You're welcome to the show.
Good. I want to throw a question at you, ladies. Thank you for good job. Before I make my own submission.
Okay.
Do all of you, the way I see you, you are all successful.
By God's grace.
And I can no, let's leave God out of it. And I can guarantee you people, you are successful, but all of you, your placenta were buried.
Possible.
All of us.
Now, it is not all pastors that you listen to. Most of them are businessmen, they are not pastors.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, my own placenta was buried. I buried the placenta of my children. By whatever, they are all successful. Now, culture, tradition, like my friend said there are some ladies that they had to do one or two things to so that they don't get necessarily promiscuous. That is their own belief. It is not tradition, it is no culture. Where I come from in Lagos, they don't even know anything about all these things. If you want to be good, you are good. If you want to be bad, you are bad. So there are some things we just have to remove Christianity from. Christianity came to us. And I can say with all authority that before we accepted Christ, this country that we call Nigeria and Africa has been living a better life. Now the Christianity is here. The Christians, the pastors are not capitalizing on it and making it a commercial venture. So it is not an issue at all. Whatever you believe in, do with the placenta of your child. For Igbo people, they don't know where they put their placenta. My grandchild that was born abroad, I don't even know where the placenta is. And I thank you so much, Lina. You have always won my heart anytime you talk.
Thank you.
And every one of you, I respect you so much. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
So I wanted to island I'm using it to eat.
I just find
the thing about questioning culture is very, very important. My mom's family, they don't eat bitter leaf. I think they have allergies towards something there, so they don't eat it in their entire, their entire body would start itching all over. So like it's not eating. It's allergy, but the way she grew up, they didn't know which one is allergy. They just say our family is forbidden for us to eat bitter leaf because when we eat it, something that so there are things like that we hear. So our job, because as we get more, as we understand and question it, we don't worship what we don't understand, which is what we tend to do here. Oh, the river, people enter that river and they die on the 3rd day of every month. So on the 3rd day, we must sacrifice a goat there so that people will not die there. When in actual fact, it could be tides. There are things, just question to know better. Somebody now commented on YouTube that even the pastor is using superstition to shakara his congregation in church. What have we become? Another person was like, if a child is not smart, they will say it is the placenta that something has happened to. Andrew says people are thinking of going to Mars. That we are still foraging backward in superstition. Jagbajantis in Nigeria.
So I wanted to say, right, my husband's family, they do the naming ceremony for their children at 3 months. Where I come from, in 7 days. And my what they explained to me was that traditionally they would say, for spiritual reasons, but that really was that a lot of children died before 3 months at that time because there was no really medicine, proper hospital. So usually, so it was harder to have named a child and then the child dies. So they'll give the child 3 months at least. At least by that 3 months, it shows that you're a survivor.
So don't waste
and then they give you a name.
So that we don't waste
but you know, some people would explain it like a spiritual thing, but it was just really, so as I said, Africans, there's a way we tell our stories to protect us. But my own is mindset. Our mindset should be, how do we help humanity? How can we contribute towards medical innovation? That's the way we should think.
And what sort of teachings should we be receiving from the pulpits? I'll come back to that. Idris Shaga, we have a caller from Idris Shaga. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, my name is Oyaka Mongo, Karla Bubaka. And my contribution. Hello?
We can hear you.
I can hear you.
Yes. My contribution is this. I think we should stop listening to dangerous preaching from very dangerous, pastors. I'm saying this because I have never heard where a placenta was burnt because of fear of this thing. You see, this is a traditional thing. Most of us grew up knowing that when a baby is born, the placenta is kept away. It's taken by the parents and buried somewhere. I had all my children in Lagos here. And I know I buried my children this thing. But I doubt, very, very much, I doubt that it has any impact on their future. And I'm saying this because people have gone to the hospitals and have their arms or legs amputated. Are you saying because they did not take that thing home to bury themselves, it will affect them? The placenta is just a middle. And what do you say? How do I put it now? It's a middle distance between the mother and the child. If it will affect the child, it should affect the mother. You see, that the need to bury this thing is because it is human. It's part of human. So I've had a situation where they say a woman, use this thing to make a charm. I don't believe in all these things. I'm not saying that people don't believe, but you see, superstition works more and better when you believe it. So true. So I do not think. I don't think the pastor is right. People should be listening to that. That's very, very dangerous. Preaching. The man
Thank you.
People should be listening to it. Thank you.
It will be done unto you according to your belief. But what sort of preaching should we expect from clerics and people who, communicate with God and sort of give us like normal directions on how to handle our spiritual lives? Why I'm asking this is, when we were growing up, the message that was paramount was salvation. Anywhere you go to is about living upright. Make sure you live upright so that you can make heaven. Make sure you live. But now we're seeing a lot of preaching in different. They'll preach to you how you're going to sleep with your wife. They'll preach to you how to navigate your relationship. They'll preach to you about how you're going to do your business. We don't hear so much of the salvation message. That first of all, so what sort of, because if you can preach in all these angles, tomorrow you have one calling to preach. Very soon we'll start hearing preaching on how side chicks are going to help us handle our marriages better. Because everybody can have a direction depending on, and they will quote scriptures to tell you that all the people God worked with in the Bible do not have one wife. Okay, so they will tell you that.
I can talk for Christianity, and from Jesus, the stories in the Bible about Jesus is that people, when you're the leader, a religious or spiritual leader, people will come and ask you many questions.
Okay.
Even Jesus got some questions that were personal. But, he had a guiding principle, which is about loving your neighbor as yourself. And, somebody asked, how
many times should I forgive?
How many times should I forgive? I know there was somebody, there was a story, there was a question that he used the story of the Samaritan to answer, so that was,
my neighbor?
So those are, so I think it's normal. Now, you had mentioned earlier that all religions have different sects because they're influenced by different factors and culture, beliefs, whatever it is. And it's true also of today's pastors or clerics or our spiritual leaders. They are influenced by their level of education, their exposure, their traditional beliefs, what they see around them. So you see this man, probably in his own community, given the limited exposure or education that he has, that is what he will tell them. And he's drawing from what is happening around them. They recognize it, they find it relatable. You speaking here with all your education and your exposure and all the things They will think yourself, this one does not even know what is happening. They don't know life. Don't know the real thing that is happening. See them just opening their mouth carelessly.
They've not seen life.
They've not seen. Then they'll give you story of this person that did not burn it and this one that burnt it. So that is just life, you know. And then you just hope that. So that's where government comes in. Government does not care what religion.
It's a standard.
And then it gives you, we hope, that government to understands what is important and then gives like a general information, general knowledge and say, Nigerians, this is how we want you to deal with yourselves. We want you to keep yourself healthy. We want you to be fair to each other, you know, and that is, we want you to educate yourselves. We want you to go to school. But definitely we'll constantly be influenced by people who are influenced by many things.
Nima, talk from your own side. What should your clerics be preaching?
My parents already preach what we know, and we are very understanding of culture. Any culture that doesn't, or tradition that doesn't negate the teachings of Tawhid, which is the oneness of God, monotheism, is allowed. Doesn't teach you to abuse the rights of others, is allowed. So burying the placenta is my standard. But somebody was saying that she has her kids abroad, that she has never been told what happens to her placenta. They don't even bring it back as in Nigerian hospitals to ask you, because it's not their culture what happens there. But we have seen that we both have culture.
They do.
With Epstein, we have been seeing they eat bodies. So imagine what you do.
Did you just go there?
What do you mean allegedly?
Did you just go there?
How many copies of the files? They eat babies.
Yes.
You know.
They drink blood.
They drink blood. They are more superstitious than we are.
Yes, they are.
And we think that, you know, we are the worst. And they told us everything about us was black, and black was negative, and everything was bad. Only for us to find out what was white, they drink blood. What was white, they chop babies. And what was white can be chopping placenta. So you have your babies there. Demand, because ordinarily, if your organs were taken out during a medical process, you demand a body for biopsy. You follow it through. So not be ask for your placenta. That's all I can say.
They say the final for medical research.
Look at it now.
Let me quickly
No,
just
you can
say
give it. You have the consent to give it for medical research, not there or the
taking it
hospital.
from.
But imagine if you take your placenta to your home in the UK and say you want to bury it, your neighbor will now call the authorities and say we are burying something.
Let me just quickly say that when we preach, the Bible already gave us context for whatever we are preaching and saying, whatever is true, whatever is honest, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is of good report. So if your message is not true, pure, honest, good reports, then don't preach it. So preaching, you can preach on any topic, but it must be good, it must be just, it must be of good report, it must edify us. If it's not putting fear in our hearts, so the cleric, you are putting fear in our hearts, it's not edifying us.
That
so don't preach
you
it
call
again.
it.
You call it fear because even the several religion self came with fear. They threatened.
That's how they preached it.
Every day they were threatening it.
That's how they preach it. That's not the Bible.
If you don't give your
That's what they preached it. That is not the Bible.
Judgment that you will judge. It's still fear. But we hear you.
It's direction.
That's part of fear too. You know the fear hellfire is down there. That's all we can take on the topic today.
I'm not afraid of you.
Right now, I fear who don't fear me.
That's all we can take on the show today. Thank you so much, ladies. I didn't know that this topic would take us to this level. It's very important that we have some of these conversations that we think they sound like it's not really important, but a lot of people need to know what to do with things like this. We'll see you again tomorrow for another beautiful show.
I can't find out where my